Sue Benson, the archivist at Barrow Library. Now, Sue, when we start with the history of Walney, we can go back to sort of medieval times. It was very agricultural. There weren't many people living on Walney Island. I presume with Peel Castle being within sight, it was part and parcel of the lands of Furness Abbey.
It was. Biggar and Northscale were both, they were people living there, but the monks were in charge, the abbey was in charge of them, and they had to pay dues to the abbey for various things. Biggar is interesting because if you look at it, until sometime in the 20th century, there was no window or door on the outside. So it was very much a fortified little hamlet, possibly because of the Vikings going up and down the Irish Sea. And of course, it's on the land side of the island, not on the sea side of the island. So yeah, that was a fortified area. The battle for Tummer Hill.
Yeah, we have this notice here. It's a poster, and basically it's stating, Mr. William Postlethwaite, farmer, is stating that he's going to charge people who come onto the land 1 penny each if they want to use the area known as High Bank. We know it now as Biggar Bank. And this is for picnic parties, schools, or others wishing to hold demonstrations, and that if they don't pay their penny and are found to be trespassing, the full weight of the law will be brought down on them.
That's right. So that one's dated 1874, and it was in 1877 that we actually had the people, let's say 1,500 people, possibly a lot of them steel workers, going across and taking the fences down. And within a couple of months, the Borough Council has obviously decided they better do something about it. So they held a meeting at the Imperial Hotel with Edward Wadham in charge, and it was agreed that the Borough Council would lease Biggar Bank for 21 years at £70 a year. And that way the people of Biggar got some money, and the people of Barrow could go and swim in the sea and play in the sand or do whatever they wanted to do.
And we have lots and lots of postcards with photographs of people, just generally with their families enjoying the sunshine.
They were. A lot of them are Sankey photographs, about 1904, 1908. And by that time, the borough actually owned Biggar Bank, because in 1881 they bought it for £1,500 and then spent £4,000 converting the bank to a recreational area. Biggar Bank then didn't include the stretch between the Roundhouse and Sandy Gap. That was bought at a later date. And the official opening was Good Friday in 1883, and they reckoned that 20,000 people attended the opening of Biggar Bank.
Oh, lovely.
Which would have been a sight.
And that's a lot of people. That would be a third of the population of the whole town.
Something like that. And of course, they'd have to go by boat because there was no bridge.
Yeah.
Or if the tide was out, they could walk across.
And then from that date, it started to develop a bit more into a sort of day-out recreation holiday sort of centre, really, is what we would call it now, with the construction of bathing huts and the pavilion, and of course a bit later on the Lido and
That's
the paddling pool and the yachting lake.
That's right. But in between the date of these photographs and when they started to build the swimming pool and so on, we had the First World War. And that actually meant that the bank was no longer in use by the public. The army used it for training. And we have documents that show that they dug trenches, which they filled in,
yes,
but they didn't returf it. So the council actually put in a claim for nearly £800 to have the bank put back to what it was. And then after the war, a tank was given to the town, which sat on Biggar Bank. I guess it probably rusted very quickly in the salt air.
Now, the Lido is something that a lot of people remember with fond memories.
So we've got the plans, or suggested plans, of where to put the swimming pool. So they show here. So we've got the swimming pool and the model yacht and the paddling pool and a sand pit. And the tram waiting room is roughly where the Roundhouse is now. But there's one plan that shows several possible places for the swimming pool. And then there's one photograph.
Yes.
Of the pool. Yes, so that was built as one of the unemployment relief schemes in the early 1930s. The swimming pool, so it was salt water, and the water was changed every high tide. It had a pump so that it would pump the water out and then pump fresh water in.
Quite hygienic then.
Yes, good for your verrucas. And then they have the yachting pool and the paddling pool as well. And to get there by then, you had the tram. So once the bridge had been built in 1908, the tram came over. 1911, the first tram came over, so people could then actually travel from Barrow very easily. You paid for the tram, but until 1935 you also paid to go across the bridge, so you had to pay an extra half p, I think.
Okay, and then there were some rather grandiose plans put forward at one point for a huge hotel on Biggar Bank.
Yes, there's the Grand Hotel. We have a lovely drawing of it, along with a file of paperwork. 1929, 1931 to build this huge hotel on Biggar Bank. I mean, the picture shows us there with cars coming out, people on the beach. Beautiful place. Never happened, unfortunately. Neither did the proposed concert hall. Oh, that was 1926, so just before. But a concert hall to seat 1,200.
Yes, with a huge domed ceiling, it looks like there.
Yes, and tea rooms.
Lovely.
All sorts of things, but no, it didn't happen, unfortunately. I think it was one of the several plans to turn it into a seaside place, but then there was also Seascale and Bardsey as well that were similar, to build seaside places there. There was the play beach on Walney for a while, where you could play on dodgems.
Oh, right, yeah, like a fairground.
Yes, yeah, and the fair used to go there fairly frequently. And they also had motorbike races along
Really?
Biggar Bank. Yep, so you had your motorbike races to see who could go fastest, but you also had the slow race, and they played football on their motorbikes.
Right.
So we have some photographs, again, Sankey photographs, showing this, various people on their motorbikes, and then there's this one where they're playing football.
Fantastic. Ref looks like he needs to get out of the way quick there.
Yes.